Hello, crafters. Tom Creek here with Creek Bank Creation. Welcome to our Tuesday night live. We're glad to have you. And this is part of Train Tober, which is our name for October this month because we're doing train cards with our new Edges die. And I thought I shut that phone off, but sometimes that happens. Hey, tell us where you're from. Just check in, say hi. My wife Julie and I own Creek Bank Creations. We're a small paper crafting company. We have our own line of dies, stamps, paper, adhesives, and tools, and we're available at www.creekbankcreations.com. Check out our website. Tonight's card, going with Train Tober, is the Foldover arched card. Isn't that cool? That's tonight's card. This is part of the series of 4 cards for Train Tober. Good to hear from you all out there. Hey, did I tell you about the Train Tober special? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I know I did, but if you didn't hear it, let me tell you about it. The Train Tober bundle special is a $129.40 value that we're blowing out for only $90.99. You are going to get a 12-pack of our medium weight acetate. You're going to get the arched slimline die. You're going to get Buffalo Plaid stencil. Buffalo Plaid, won't you come out tonight? The Star Swoosh stencil. The Merry Christmas die with the shadow. The Merry Christmas rubber stamp round. The ever famous Edges die with the the train, baby, the train. The mini Santa Claus die. The evergreen die, that where you can see it, the Thanks Be to God stamp, 4x6 rubber stamp, and finally, that's right, the spiral pop-up die. Like I said, that's $129.40 value for only $90.99. Don't forget, all orders over $50 are shipped for free as far as the freight's concerned. And if you use the code TRAIN, until when, Julie? Is that till the end of October? As of right now, it's till the end of the October. You get an additional 15% off your order, excluding the bundle specials. And don't forget, I still have that special on the Vagabond at $139.99, unless you live in one of the 7 states listed on the website. So we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. It's raining here in Indiana, and starting to turn cool. Leaves are falling. About half the leaves are off the trees, but I hope it's nice where you're at. And Mrs. Creek, are you ready to go?
Hang on.
Mr. Creek told me to say hang on. By the way, we've got our own event coming up on October the 7th. That's Saturday, October the 7th in Danville, Indiana. That's just outside of Indianapolis, kind of a bedroom community of Indianapolis. At the Hendricks County Fairgrounds. It's a one-day event. Shopping and make and takes. The admission is free. We'll be there as well as a few other vendors. Love to see you all come in. The parking's free. The admission's free. We're going to have a good time. Lots of great stuff. Prizes, make and takes.
It's the last hurrah of the year.
And it is the last hurrah, ladies, of 2020 as far as live shows. We'd love for you to all come out and see us. Those of you who are in Indiana, Illinois, or Ohio, or close enough to drive from Kentucky or Tennessee, come on down and see us. Like I said, it's a one-day event. I'd love to have you. Mrs. Creek, with that, are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Mrs. Creek is ready to rock and roll. Here we go. And don't forget, I got train questions tonight.
Ride the train.
For prizes.
Ride the train. Hey. So much is going on everywhere. So good to see everyone. We loved seeing everyone in
Sevierville, Tennessee, baby.
Do that again. Do that.
Sevierville, Tennessee, baby.
So if you came, thank you for coming and
Thank you.
having fun with us and hanging out.
Did we have
And
fun?
it was so good to see everyone, and we were so blessed, and we are so thankful for you guys. It was great. So hopeful that if you didn't get to come to Tennessee, maybe you can come to Indiana and hang with us. And I'm on a journey of thankfulness and gratefulness.
A journey.
So it's kind of that time of year, but I think
Everything's
it's
on
good
a
for the
journey.
mind. So I want to share with you this article. We're going to kind of go through. I'm going to share these like every week. 6 habits of highly grateful people. So if we want to establish being thankful and grateful, then we kind of have to plant that seed in our life. So this article has some really great things to say about that. And so I'm going to share them with you. The first one is the first highly effective habit. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
You're going to be shocked.
Lay it on me, baby.
So first of all, they say it's a mental tool that you can remind yourself of good stuff. Thankfulness and gratefulness is a lens that help you to see the things that don't make it onto your normal list because your list is only problems to be solved. So gratitude doesn't make your threats or your problems disappear. It just changes your focus. Awesome. So I'm looking for the first habit because it's shocking. Are you ready? First habit, number 1. That's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Habit.
Once in a while, think about death and loss. Interesting. So what they're saying is that if you think about, ask them to visualize, the psychologists ask them to visualize their own death and their gratitude measurably increased. So this same goes for what if I lost my job? What if I didn't have a house to live in? And then it changes your perspective. So what's interesting about this is when
Sorry.
Mr. Creek
Well,
cannot
I've been trying to
turn
get on.
the volume down. Can
There's
y'all?
like an echo here, huh?
Yes.
There we go.
So when our daughter passed away, probably 2 years post, I was I was really struggling.
Like depressed?
I was in a rut. Bad. I could not get out of the rut. And what got me out of the rut was thankfulness. So I went and did a volunteer job at a food bank. Once a week, I drove 45 minutes into town to work at a food bank for the specific reason of helping my mind adjust. And when you see people who don't have food, you become thankful for the fact that you have food. So this principle really does work. It's not talking about focusing on death, but the principle is to realize that you do have a lot to be thankful for. Even though losing a child was a horrible thing, I still had things to be thankful for, and I still had a reason to live. So it helps shift your perspective, and I thought that was really good. And this says, when you find yourself taking a good thing for granted, try giving it up for a little while. Researchers found they gave 55 people a piece of chocolate, they had 55 people eat a piece of chocolate. And then researchers told some of those people to resist the chocolate for a week. And the others were allowed to binge on the chocolate whenever they wanted. They left the third group to their own devices. Guess who ended up the happiest, according to the self-reporters? The people who abstained from the chocolate. And who?
So people that abstain from chocolate are happy?
And who was the least happy? Those who binged. That's the power of gratitude. So just a matter of shifting your focus. It's your little tidbit for the week, because we're going to work on, I'm working on being thankful. And Colossians 4:2 says, devote yourselves to prayer, being watchful and thankful. So that's your first, this is from the article, 6 Habits of Highly Grateful People by Jeremy Adam Smith. So sometimes you have to work at planting seeds of thankfulness. So I think it's good to look at information like that. Now tonight we are going to work on the arched fold over card. And what is fun about this card is last week, if you didn't get to watch last week we made the tall slim card, and we used this arched slim card rectangle die. And I always want to try to find a new and different way to use the things that we have. And so what we're going to do here is turn that Arch Slim card on its side and make a standard A2 card. Woo woo! Kind of excited about that. Okay, any questions? Does anybody have? I can't read the feed, so Tom, is there anything I need to address?
No,
I'm
so
just
far.
about ready to turn the camera down.
Nancy Goat said it's getting colder in California. Nancy,
Yeah.
I thought it was consistently the same temperature all the time in California.
California or
Yeah,
Colorado?
California. Nancy Goat. Say hi, Nancy.
Tom has a saying about Nancy. Do you know that saying?
No, don't.
Oh, yes.
No, that was
Oh.
a different Nancy, and it was so I could remember her name, and that wouldn't be fair. No.
Tom has a saying about Nancy.
It was a
I'm not
long
allowed.
time
Come on,
ago.
I'm not allowed to tell it. Tom makes up these little, what are they?
Quirks.
Things
saying-
about people, so that he can like remember
their
them.
names.
And so Nancy has antsies in her pantsies.
But I remembered her name.
Just saying.
I always remembered her name.
But every time I hear Nancy, see, this is what Tom does to me. This is a good story.
Word association.
This is what Tom does to me. Like, how did the herb thing start? How did that start?
His name's.
Okay,
Herb.
no. It started when I was a kid. We had a guy that went to our church who was named Mr. Gooch. And Tom kept calling him Mr. Gooch. And I was a teenager, and I don't remember the whole circumstance, but I accidentally called Mr. Gooch, Mr. Goosh, and it really didn't end very well. So Tom knew that I have this issue, and so he plays mind games with me, and he kept calling Herb.
Herb. Called him Herb.
Herb, what's his last name?
His name's. Don't know his last name, but his.
At church. They sit right behind us. He's the football coach. Tom kept calling him Herb at home. Herb. Thank you. What do you think came out of my mouth at church?
Herb.
I called him Herb.
Was that?
And then Tom went behind my back. And what'd you do?
I said, Herb. Julie
I don't-
thinks your name is Herb. So,
Yeah, he told Herb that I thought his name was Herb.
So when she calls you Herb, I want you to look at him like she's really
So
funny.
I don't know if they can hear you. Anyway, this is what living with Tom Creek is like. So why were we telling that story? Oh, Nancy has antsies in his pantsies. So he does that to me. And then when I see anyone named Nancy, I think Nancy has antsies in her pantsies. So I'm going to turn, at this point, I'm going to turn the camera down.
You're gonna get me in trouble with every woman named Nancy.
Nancy.
getting comments all over
Well,
for
you
Nancy.
shouldn't say anything about Nancy anyway.
I
Okay.
love the name Nancy.
Here's
I
the
just couldn't
card.
remember her name.
Yeah, you deserve that after me calling her Herb. And Mr. Gooch, Mr. Gooch. I'm too high. You hang around Tom long enough and he'll mess with your head.
But it's all in fun.
What did she say?
Michelle Wilson said she joked with friends about calling a police officer. We laughed, but the next day I was pulled over and called the police officer. Yes,
See, thank
I got a
you.
ticket.
I think it's the creative spirit that does that. That's not good. Thank you, Jane. There's Doris. Hello, Doris. It's kind of crooked though? Let's straighten it up a little bit. That better? Oh, no. Tom, talk to me, baby.
You need to change the base on your. There you go. There, perfect. Right, whoop, you moved it back.
Okay, we're good right there?
No, you need to go back the other way.
Back the other way. Sorry, guys. How am I now?
The other way. There you go.
Okay, I have a lag on my end, so
Now
I'm...
move it over just a little bit towards the arc. Yeah, that's it. Beautiful.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
well.
Woohoo! Okay, I will tell you guys, we do have storms here tonight, so we'll cross fingers that we get through this whole entire extravaganza. We only have one card, so we shouldn't be that long. So tonight what we're going to do is start out with a piece of cardstock. And you want to take a piece of white cardstock, and we are going to cut that cardstock 4.5 by 9. So it's 9 inches long and 4.5 inches wide. I'm sorry, it's 4.25. Let me correct my paper here. 4.25.
By 9?
4.25 by 9, yes. And we're scoring at 3.5. And I've already scored it. But I will show you, if you make this, you're going to take your long side of your paper and you're going to put it up so that the long side is at 9. And you're going to score at 3.5. Okay, that's going to make your base card for you. And then we are going to fold that side, and we're going to have the fold on the left. Now we're going to cut 2 pieces of blue paper, one 4 by 5.25, and one 3 1/4 by 4. Okay, so let's do this. This piece is 3.25 by 4, and it's going on the side. This is going on the inside, and that piece measures 4 by 5.25. I'm sorry?
What score is that? I can see numbers.
That is the Caterpillar crease tool. And if you own the Caterpillar light board, you can put this on top. If you have trouble seeing, you can put it on top of the light board and you can see it even better. Tom, do you have a special on that, or do you know? If you're interested, you can email Tom and he can get back to you. That is not a product that we normally stock, but we do have an account with them, so we can check that out. I'm sorry, which glue bottle did you prepare for me tonight?
This is great. That would be.
Okay, did you squirt that out and make sure we were good?
I didn't, but I will double check and make sure I got you the right one.
Okay.
This is the wrong one.
Okay. So I'm putting adhesive on the back of my cardstock pieces.
This is the right one right here.
And did you squirt glue out of it?
I did not.
Into the trash can. Please check it.
I don't have to. It slid right out. I mean, I'm telling you, it's good.
Okay. We're going to pull the tape liner off, and we're going to put the blue piece on the inside. The big one is going on the inside. If you guys can hear the rain. Boy, do we have rain, which we need. Thank you, Lord. See, Tom, that's a good lesson in thankfulness. Right? And you cannot burn. We have a burn ban
But not at our house.
in the state of Indiana where Tom lives, and he's not burning. Everyone type in the chat, please. No burning, Tom. No burning. Can we talk about Tom and fire?
I don't think we need
Are we allowed to do that?
I don't think we need to go there.
That would be a funny story too.
How many funny stories?
Yeah. So this is going here. Mr. Creek has a burn problem. The Eagle Scout seems to have a problem with fire. We've had a fire everywhere we've ever lived.
Everybody's telling you no burning, Tom.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That helps our marriage so much, you don't even
How
know.
come I feel like everybody's picking on
Oh, because they're married to people like you. Okay, so that's our basic card right there. That wasn't too bad, was it? Now what we want to do is create this little tab that's going to go on the side. And when we do our arch panel, that arch panel is going to clip right underneath that tab. So what you want to do is take the arched panel, and when I say the arched panel die, we are working with this die right here. This is the die we're working with tonight, and we're only using the larger pieces out of this set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but there are 8 dies in that set. Okay, so what we're going to do is take the largest die out of that set, and we're going to cut that little tab. So you're going to take your white cardstock, just get some scraps, put your, do we use the largest one? Yeah. Put your die on the side and die cut. Now you can kind of mess around with this and decide how far in you want the tab to go. I kind of like to set my paper up so that I'm on the grid, and I kind of like to set it in 1/4 of an inch, but you can also put it right back on the edge, so you can kind of mess around with it. The deeper you make this, the more it'll affect your center point of your card when you put it on. So I like to cut it about 1/4 of an inch in.
Okay, Mrs. Creek.
Yes, Mr. Creek.
I've got a special on the Caterpillar crease.
Okay.
They're $49.99 and they ship free.
Okay.
Okay?
Can you type that in the chat?
Yes. And they're on our webpage.
They are?
Yes.
Oh.
But you can't use the coupon code.
Coupon code. Okay, so say that again.
$49.99.
$49.99 for the Caterpillar
It
crease.
ships free. But
Ships free, but you can't use the coupon code because we don't have any room to move on it.
Because I'm paying the freight.
Yeah. So I'm going to die cut that. And that is going to give me that little tab piece that I need for the edge. Now I put that on with the thermal web tape, and I am going to take it off with undo so that we don't tear up our paper. Undo will release that and not tear up my paper. So tonight's card is featured on our most recent blog post. So if you want to look at the products that we use, they're listed individually there with links. And there are also links to the Train Tober bundle. So there is my tab, and I want to show you what that looks like against the dark blue paper. Okay, and we're going to adhere that right to that side. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to wait before I actually adhere that down to get my, so we'll build our other piece and we'll come back to it. But that is how you want to cut your tab, and you'll see when you start messing with this what I mean. So we're going to take a piece of white cardstock and we are going to cut the largest slim arched rectangle in the set. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, we do sell the storage panel, the magnetic sheet that holds the die, and you can see how I have my dies stored, and there is a storage sheet as well. And this is how I keep mine at home. I have them marked with my label writer, and I have them on my shelf so I can easily find my dies. Those are on the website. So I have cut the largest of the arched rectangle, and you want to stamp the sentiment that you want, and the stamp is from the stamp set that we're using for this. Can you find
What are you looking for?
the name of the stamp set? And we're going to fold this in half.
The name of the stamp set?
Yes.
What stamp set did you use here?
Whatever the stamp set
Oh,
is.
thanks be to God, it's right in there. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Thanks be to
I
God.
have it right here, my
It's a
love.
4x6 stamp. We're going to fold it.
I was busy conversing
Working.
with our
You were busy working. This is our Merry Christmas that we're using, and it's off of the Thanks Be to God stamp set. Okay, so you want to make sure when you stamp it that you center it just inside the left. Okay, got that going. Now what you want to do is take that same slim arch die, and you want to locate the second to the largest slim arch die. And we're going to cut one in blue, one in evergreen, and one in white. Okay, and I've already die cut these pieces. What's great about the Vagabond is you can cut like 3 of those at a time. So I have multiple sets of them. Now, what we're going to do is take the Village Edge die. And I'm often asked after this, I often get an email saying, hey, Julie, I cannot find the train die on the website. And that's because it's called Village Edges
006.
006. Can you type that, Tom, in there?
Village Edges.
Village Edges 006. So what we want to do is take our Village Edges 006 and we want to locate the piece that has the big tree in the middle. And we are going to cut that on the green paper. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be able to get 2 cards out of this because we're going to cut that green piece in half. We're only going to use half of it. So we're going to put that on our paper trimmer and we're going to cut that in half. And if you want to just use a measurement, you can put it up there and cut it at 3.5. And actually, I'm going to go ahead. Woo! Oh my goodness, my paper trimmer blade is horrible. Someone has used it. Do you know if we have paper trimmer blades?
No,
Someone
I've
has
got a rotary cutter.
used my paper trimmer for other things. Okay, cut it in half. Then we're going to cut the blue in half. Oh, raining, raining, raining. That one's a little better. And cut our white one in half. So at 3.5, and you'll be able to make 2 cards because you'll have the extras, or you'll be able to save yourself if you make a mistake. One or the other. Okay, so we're going to take the green one, and we are going to set the village edge with the tree on top, and I like to place it. So I have my my paper on the edge, and I like to be about 3/4 of an inch off of the bottom when I cut this. And you'll see here that I am using the grid to line this up. And if you use the grid to line it up, you'll know that you have it lined up nice and straight. Now, a little tip for you, whenever you tape the dies on and you are cutting this edge, you want to put your tape on the top, not on the bottom, so that it does not show. Sometimes when you die cut, it'll press in a tape mark for you. And we are going to just run that through one time. And I am cutting with the electric vagabond tonight. Okay, we can pull the top off. And then we should be able to just pull that out. Yep. Because we have the tape on there. And then we have our basic background cut. I have a few little pieces I need to pop out. That's when the pick tool comes in handy.
Are we ready to give something away?
And, yeah, sure. We're ready to get, let me show them how to do the next piece. And then while I'm doing that, you can do your thing. So we want to take the white piece that we cut in half. I'm going to trim this up a little bit. Somebody's cut cardboard with my paper trimmer. I promise you that. And we're going to take the village edge with just the plain village. And we're going to put that on the white piece. And I'm going to set it a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch. A fat 1/4 of an inch. How's that? On the edge, and tape it in place and die cut. Okay, while I'm doing this, Mr. Creek has something to give away.
Okay, we're going to give away this tunnel card, the Sunshine
We have
Tunnel
the
card.
Sunshine Tunnel card with the window, so it has a YouTube video that goes with it. If you are the lucky winner, you can look up the video that we did and make the card as you watch the video.
Okay. There was a famous bluegrass song.
Start again so they all can hear
Okay,
you.
this is a train question, crafters. There was a famous bluegrass song that was named after this train. So name the train that used to run from New York to Miami, Florida. That a famous bluegrass song was named after.
Have you ever rode a train?
Me?
Yeah,
Short distance.
short distance.
Oh, come on, nobody's guessing at all?
They're Googling. You gotta Google before you guess. There's my top.
Sorry, Gene, not today. Keep going.
Is she often the winner?
Again, the train ran from New York to Miami.
Okay, there's my other piece.
Famous bluegrass song.
Now we're gonna take our.
Lois back. That is exactly right. The Orange Blossom Special. It's that Orange Blossom Special. That's right, Lois. Congratulations.
we're going to take our gold cardstock. We're going to put our super tacky tape on the back. And we're going to, that piece is going to measure 3.5 by 1. And we are going to die cut that. Now, when I do this, I like to use the tape on the back because I want to peel those stars off and put them on my project. So I have already cut this piece. Okay. Now, in your instructions on if you have the instructions on step number 6, it says blue, evergreen, and white cardstock. 3.5 by 7. So it's telling you to cut those pieces and then go back and cut the arched rectangles, these pieces. And that piece of paper actually needs to be 3.5 by 7.5. So I emailed the people who bought the Train Tober, the correction tonight. I need to email the people that also just bought the PDF file. But if you have the instructions, step number 6 should say to cut the paper 3.5 by 7.5. That is a correction on our part. So we have all of our pieces stacked up here. Now what we want to do is take our blue piece and we're going to build that village right on the blue piece. And you can see how those pieces just layer in perfectly because we had the shape cut first and then we cut the die and now we have that perfect edge to go on our card. Okay, so we are going to take liquid adhesive and we're going to adhere those in. If you prefer to use tape on this, then before you cut the arched rectangle, you would use tape on the back of the paper. We did not because you would end up wasting a lot of tape and paper.
Marcy Burton said she's already made the correction. Thank you for letting us know.
Yes. Well, I tried to get everybody, but I only had the.
You had the short list.
I got the Train Tober people. I didn't get the people who just bought the PDF, so I will email them after we're done tonight. I have my village on there, and I'm going to add my white village. And I am using the Art Institute with the stainless steel nozzle. If you don't own this, we do have this on the website.
You have those little bead things? Well, there's little bead.
We have the bobble bottle.
The bottle?
I know that's one of your favorite things.
Wobble.
And that just allows you
sounds like you're gargling, doesn't it?
to control the adhesive. And if you use the little bobble bottle head pin, it keeps you from losing your head pin. Tom, I'm going to tell you something.
Yes, love.
There's nothing worse than losing your head pin.
That's right.
You don't want to lose your head pin.
That's right. When you bobble,
then your bobble bottle will have a problem. We're going to adhere that right to the bottom. It's going to give us that little edge. Now my train is long because I cut the whole entire train. So I'm going to clip that front end. Clip it off. And then I'm going to adhere it and then clip the back end. You know, I'd like to have my back end clipped. You'd like to.
Front end just clipped.
Well, yeah.
That was the train.
I can use a front end clip too. Are you charging for that service?
Well, I'm just telling you, the back end, the engine is on the front, Mrs. Creek, not the back.
I know, but I'm going to clip the back. Okay, so when you die cut the train, there are little stars in the wheels. So we want to keep those. I see I've got one stuck to my finger right here because we're going to put them on the card. So I'm just going to actually stick this up here. So if you notice, when I peeled that off, I was intentionally leaving the little stars left here because we're going to add those back into the card. So we have our piece stuck on here, and I'm going to take my scissors and trim off the back of the train. So you could just shorten it up and not die cut that much, but that gives you the exact train that you need. Okay, that's awesome. We got our little panel there. Now, remember we made the Merry Christmas. We stamped that in the large arched panel. We are going to adhere our panel
Mrs. Creek, I just had an idea.
right to the front of our card. Yes, Mr. Creek.
Do you realize you could, if you were scrapbooking,
If you were.
if you were, you
Yes.
can take it and cut that multiple times, that train multiple times, and connect the cars, and go all the way across your page with a string. For that matter, all the way around your train. I
Yeah.
mean, it could be like,
It'd make
be like Christmas morning.
It's
with
a really
train
good.
going all over.
It really. You could put the tree die cut, and then you could put the train at the bottom,
Yeah.
and then you could put a title on there.
There you go.
Christmas morning.
You ever
Look
notice
at
how
you.
creative I am?
Look at you.
That's why they call me the crafting cowboy, Mrs. Creek.
That's not why they
Even though I don't craft.
tape on the back, and we're going to center that on the white panel that we have Merry Christmas on. And that will be our center point. Okay, now what we're going to do, remember that base card that we started with? We're going to set that in the center. Can you guys, do they have the whole thing on their view?
Huh?
Do they have the whole picture on their view?
Yes.
There we go. Okay, so what we want to do is look at where that tab is going to hit the other side, where the left is going to hit the right. And you can look and adjust it. How much of the tab on the left do you want to show? That's why I like to cut it so that it has a little bit of edge on it right there. And then you can kind of look at it and decide, does that work for you, or does that, how much tab do you want? So for me, the first thing I'm going to do is put adhesive on the back of this part. And I'm going to adhere that into the center, and then I'm going to adjust the other side. You could put the other side on and adjust this piece around, but I'm going to center this one down. So you can see how you can take a very unusual shape and pop it in this kind of card and make a really different looking card.
How different?
Very different, Mr. Creek.
Let's give away something else while you do it.
Okay, good.
Okay, got it. All right, we're going to give away.
Mr. Creek's going to give it all
We're
away.
going to give some Wonder Wipes away today.
Okay.
If you don't have a Wonder Wipe, this is your opportunity. Got another train song here. Okay. All right. In the 70s, there was a song done by Arlo Guthrie about a train. I want you to name the song and name the singer or the songwriter who wrote it. Name the song and the writer that wrote it, and it was released in 1972.
Okay, I'm going to trim off just a little piece of that. It's a little long. So that's what's nice about if you cut it just a little long, then you can trim it and get it to be exactly where you want with your magnificent paper trimmer that somebody cut.
It's a two-part answer. The songwriter.
There we
and
go.
the name of the
Nice.
song. And
So
nobody's
we're gonna
guessing.
they're looking it up.
Well, that's looking it up. You're supposed to go to your memory banks.
Some memory banks work better than others.
Children of the 70s.
I'm going to put a little adhesive right down that side, and we're going to adhere that tab in place. And you can see what's great about the steel nozzle is that you can really control.
If they're looking up the answers, I'm going to have to come up with some
They
guessing,
are.
some guessing.
They're looking up the answers.
Lois Back, I tell you what are you doing? Lois Back is the winner again. She must have two computers there or something. Lois, you are correct. Lois is the winner.
So we're going to adhere that tab in on the other side, and that is going to give us that little tab that opens and closes. Now, the finishing touch for this card is taking those little bitty stars that we had in the train wheel and adding them to the top of the card. So you can pull those out, and you can see I am using my pick tool to pull them out. And that one in the back of the train is a little bitty star and really difficult to pull out. But, the little ones look so cool on there. So don't be afraid to pull the little bitties out because they are special, special, special. So you can decide how many you want to put on. Use your pick tool to pull those off. Stick them down. So if anybody gets inspired to make a scrapbook title, like Tom was talking about, I would love to see that in the creativity group. If
And I
anybody,
gave the idea at no charge.
yeah, no charge, bonus for
That
joining
was,
us tonight
That was my contribution to
to the creativity.
To the creativity.
Yeah, I appreciate that. There we go. And now we have our Christmas train card. And this is a really different card, really unique for your Christmas stack to give away. I'm going to bring up the camera. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, Michelle Wilson's been trying to get into the group.
Okay. Michelle, do you have any friends? Sorry. This is a horrible twist. Sorry. Michelle, let's see. How did that work? They have to, if they have a. Michelle, did you become my friend?
Her status says pending.
Yeah. Okay. Write her name down, Tom.
I thought so.
Who is it?
COVID. I thought so, but COVID.
Michelle, who is it?
Michelle Wilson.
Okay, Michelle, I will check, and if I send you, Julie Creek, if I send you a friend request, accept my friend request, because what we've been having to do is make friends, and then I can get you in the group. It's crazy. I'm just going to tell you right now, Facebook is totally messed up since COVID, so if you have issues with Facebook, and you're frustrated with Facebook, or you're frustrated with other people, because of Facebook, don't be, because seriously, Facebook is just a disaster. Some of my friends from church were complaining last week about something, and they thought this other person was not letting them in the group and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh guys, no. Don't get mad at each other. It's not that, it's Facebook. So hang in there. Okay.
That means we sing a song. I love you, you love me, we're a happy family.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
That is our third train card. If you bought the PDF file, you know there are 5 cards in the PDF.
5, count them 5.
We will not get to the 5th card.
No,
it's
not
your
to the 5th.
It's your bonus.
It's your bonus card.
But next week we are doing.
What are we doing next
Did
week?
I invite you? In this?
Isn't this the so long? Goodbye
Next week
for a
we're
while?
doing the Z fold.
The Z fold.
Which has a really cool little technique that
It's
I'm
so
going to
cool.
teach. So join us next Tuesday.
Can't wait to see you.
Thank you.
Lord bless you and
So
keep
much.
you. We're glad to have you. We love you all. And come and see us at Danville, Indiana on November 7th.
Thank
And we'll
you.
see you next Tuesday. Adios. So long. Sayonara. Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Good night.
Lord bless you. See you.